this is what the ladder was really brought up here for. It's a nice sturdy fireman style ladder. It's very stiff, and I want it for a rail for my Grandberg 24-inch Alaskan sawmill. Well, the way this works is, this is just a very temporary, so I get an idea. I've cut this before, but I've never used a ladder, so I'm just kind of putting this together to look at it. I'm going to set up a whole little jig where the log will be on there, and this will be attached and shimmed. And basically what happens is, with the chainsaw running, the ladder, I just use it to slide along, and it slabs off lumber. That's it in a nutshell. You know, there's going to be a lot more to it than that, but basically the ladder is a nice smooth rail, and especially for the first cut. After the first cut, you can just let the Grandberg sawmill slide down the wood if you've got a good even cut, and every cut's good. But this is just a way to make some lumber. And another day is coming to a close at the cabin. Had that big fish fry last night. Get up this morning, I just fixed some oatmeal and packed up a pack and took one of Vonnie's apple pies, a little thermos of Treel, a little thermos of tea, took some small chainsaw, a few tools, extra oil and gas, and I headed out clearing the wintertime trails that we used to come in from the west. And so I toted that chainsaw and cut and threw trees off the trail for, now, total of walking about 5 miles, probably about 3 miles or 3.5 of actual fresh trails. You know, some of part of my way back I already covered some of the ground, but got a few loops out there, so I got those circles cut out, so come up here and get some skis on, or just out hiking, be able to go out and enjoy ourselves without having to clamber through some brush. And one trail I cleared was one that, when Jim and I were here in, well, late February, March, we got on one trail over there and just we come up with a bunch of obstacles, and we had to kind of get around them, but we got down through and I got all those cut off. The bottom line is, I got back here, I kind of took a little nap for about a half hour in there. So tired, I'm gonna let Vonnie do the cooking tonight. No, of course she's not here. But we had some lasagna before I left Illinois, and she packed up a couple packs of that in aluminum foil, and anyway, I've got a nice double boiler in there, so I got that set in the double boiler, and it'll thaw it out really nice. And just give it a little time. Have a no effort supper tonight. I did look in the freezer, and I got at least 4 more venison steaks in there, maybe a half a dozen brats, at least 4 apple pies. So as we're winding down here with the days left, the pace is working really good. I plan on driving out tomorrow, going down, taking a 7 or 8 mile drive, and guys in another cabin a ways away said they might be out this weekend, so I might stop late tomorrow afternoon and visit with them for a while. Anyway, better go in and check on my boil a meal tonight. With that double boiler working hard in there, better than me. Well, lasagna's still heating up, so I'm playing around here. I'm always watching for things that it might be useful. Always when we try to build this guest cabin, and in this online auction, I saw this used little pulley set up. Catch block, I guess you'd call it, or a catch. Anyway, it's there, and then it runs down and got the pulley anchored there. So we've got some pulling advantage, and this log is laying on a couple of logs, but I'm just curious if I'm going to be able to, if I could use this little block and tackle to maybe make things a little easier. Works. The sun's about to set, and after supper, took a walk over to this high throne that you've seen many times before. I've been toiling away, and there just seems like there's no end to dead trees around the cabin and everything else to be throwing around and burning. But I got to start slowing down. I've only got a week left. But even as I sit here, there's a tree here that snapped off above my head and fell out in front, and I need to get thrown it out of the way. But otherwise, I did get a lot of mowing done and got this all set. Little clearing here. I always like it, thinking maybe give a good spot for the owls to come and hunt for mice. This beaver dam pond is dried up, and I spotted this big rock laying out here, and it looks like maybe over the long periods of time it just kept being cracked open by more and more ice getting inside the cracks and pushing it apart. But it looks like it was one big rock at one time. Now it's just a lot of pieces. It spreads almost a meter across. I started playing with that rope pulley system enough to see that, yeah, it's going to be an advantage. And one thing I want to get started on, it'll help, is I want to get all those piles of wood back there, those logs. I've been meaning for, 2 or 3 years now to get them. I want to get them up off the ground so they're not going to rot anyway because they're tamarack, but I want to get them up drying out really good. I want to get them up on I want to get them up on some wood. And I got a lot of smaller pieces of tamarack that I have no use for in the piles out there, and I'm just going to cut them up, and they'll be lay them in the ground, and then I'll pull the logs, or I'll roll the logs up on those to get some air all the way around the log. But not tonight. Tonight I got a fresh pot of sweet dreams tea. It's a beautiful evening. I worked hard enough today. I was even tempted to go in and make a pudding, but with my diet, I'm not going to do that tonight. So it was tempting. So sit here and think about how I'm going to do this whole project. Of course, ideally, a bunch of my retired friends would show up, but well, David did offer to help me get started last Sunday, and he was here, but I wasn't ready to do it yet. I didn't have the areas cleared out, but if anybody stops in the next couple of days, they could be in trouble. bird's a little bit upset, but if you notice, it's got a tracking collar on it. Now I know that the person who was doing some research on these a few years ago, these batteries have gone dead, but on the back side of this there's a number, and then I'll be able to find out where this bird came from. I know that she didn't do any banding or tracking like this. It was at least 3 miles away, so these birds do move around. But now that I made up this, I had this handy, thinking it might work if I ever came around again. And it was the chicken wire and a pole, and so this morning when I spotted it out here, I got it. Well, now I want to get a picture, or write down this information. I did contact the researcher and was told that this bird had the collar put on in 2021, and then in mid-2022 the battery had gone dead. But this bird was first captured about 3 miles to the southwest of the cabin. So it moved a fair piece. I turned it loose again, so we'll see if we can catch it again down the road, see how long it lives. Yeah, there was a number and a date. It says March of 2020, so we'll find out more about this bird. But okay, buddy, sorry about that. He's good. Gonna have a brat for an early lunch and then take the chainsaw. I got another trail going out to the east I want to get the logs off of, but sounds of all that, I stick close to home for a bit. The other day when I had 17 spruce grouse out here, I realized later I forgot to look for that one with the collar on it. I can't say if it was there or not because I didn't look, but this morning I was sitting there and there was about 6 of them out there. I realized, well, there he is. And so I had that little snare thing set up on a pole ready last year, and I never saw it again. So I'd be curious to find out a little bit of history on that bird. Obviously it's 3 or 4 years old and it's traveled 3 or 4 miles anyway. But we'll get in contact with the people who did that research. And uh-oh. I saw the flash and I was just counting my mind all the time. It's over a mile away out of that center of that one, so we're okay for a few minutes. Get my lunch in anyway. Whoop, here it comes. I got one brought down anyway. So we dine inside. It's getting darker and darker, and the rumbling was out there, so I wasn't going to head off with that chainsaw on that trail. It's not that bad out there. You have a long sleeve shirt on. A little smoke in the chimney because just to take the chill off this morning. And today's bath day. Might take a drive down and around the other part of about a 15-mile drive. Got some guys with another cabin up here that are out for the weekend, and they told me they'd be around, so I think I might drive down, and if it's not raining too hard. This is supposed to clear off by the afternoon, weather forecast, so let it move through, and the cabin's nice and warm while this is going on. I'll get my bath in and redeem the time. Well, that's a little thunder shower there. My rain tub runneth over again. Got plenty of water now.